Well, just a minute past 10 o'clock. Welcome on to News Tonight. Once again, my name is Patricia Lukomampango and I'm joined by Mugalu on sign language. But first though, let's look at the headlines. Uganda marks Public Service Day at Kololo's ceremonial grounds. And in Kabale, 3 perish in a road accident involving a bus and a saloon car. Now, late Justice Taylor's husband proposes that burial be held at Arua Catholic Cemetery. And in sports, several regional volleyball coaches complete a volleyball course. Now into the news, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has asked the Karachuna to stop the tendency of cattle rustling among the Karimajong clans and in the neighboring areas in order to help the government plan better for the sub-region. The president made the request while meeting a group of Karachuna at State House in Entebbe. President Museveni reminded them how he managed to convince the Banyankore into the cattle corridor to switch from nomadism into commercial dairy farming that has since uplifted their welfare. The president added that when they came into power in 1986, the Banyankore had stopped nomadism but they had not started getting enough money through farming. The president further asked and tasked the Karachuna to take up commercial farming, especially for milk. He said this will help them to generate daily incomes, thus improve on their livelihoods. His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni also rallied them into embracing government programs like Parish Development Model PDM and Emioga to fight poverty before the meeting. Now the president first took the Karachuna on a tour of the various model farms with an aim of helping them learn new modern methods of farming that they could use in their agricultural ventures. Notably among the visited model farms was that of Mr. Richard Nyakana in Renjaju, Kabarore, when the group benchmarked how a firm can make a lot of money on a small piece of land. On the other hand, the group thanked the president for advising and guiding them on the issues of security and wealth creation. Many of them gave testimonies that they have been asleep, but they promised to use the knowledge they got to cause a fundamental change in their lives. The group further apologized to President Museveni for causing the insecurities in the sub-region before promising they will preach to their fellow Ugandans to stop cattle rattling and join and promote the country's development agenda. Now, the UK House of Commons has taken interest in stopping Uganda in the pursuit for abducted children in the recent school attack in Kasese by ADF rebels. Dola Popat, Baron Popat, a Ugandan British accountant, businessman and conservative life peer in the House of the Lords, raised the matter, which attracted attention of the members consoling with Uganda for the loss of the 43 children. The members have assured Uganda for necessary support to ensure that the children abducted can be retrieved.
Especially the victims and their families. Would my noble friend, the Minister, agree with me? This is a shocking terrorist crime, and we, the British government, will do everything possible to support the government of Uganda to help to recover those who were kidnapped.
Echo.
Now, the Commander Operation Shuja, Major General Dick Olum, has confirmed that 6 of the ADF rebels were killed in the operation and captured 5 guns. Major General Dick Olum, however, rubbished claims that 3 abductees escaped, saying it was a misinformation.
Watoto ambao inasemeka walichukuliwa, sisi tunafikiria narudia kusisitiza kwamba hao watoto wanaweza kawa watatu, na katika hao watatu mmoja ndiye msichana, 2 ni wanaume. Lakini sasa watu wameenda wanazungumza mambo mengi, kila mtu anazungumza mambo yake, na katika hao watoto watatu ambao walichukuliwa kuna fursa kidogo ambao inaonekana tumejaribu kupata picha ya moja yao, lakini kusema kwamba siku hao watoto walichukuliwa, kwamba baada ya siku 2 tulipata watoto hao watatu, hiyo nafikiri ni media ndio ilijaribu kusisitiza. Lakini mimi kama division commander ambao nimekaa pale tangu siku hiyo, na amini tangu tuanze kuwafata tumewaua wahasi kikundi hilo ya kamanda anayeitwa Abu Wakas. Naamini tumeua karibu 6 na kupata silaha 5. Silaha 3 zilipatwa siku 2 baada ya hiyo kitendo. Silaha 3 zingine zilipatikana jana. Na kikundi ndio
galagidde bukumi na yenga tiwaliwo kiralikiza tikijja kutujja kumulamwa ogw'okuva ekongo gye tubasagula kubanga gye bakolera okutendekebwa, gye bafunira obuyambi, bakola ebintu byonna bye bakola okufuna ebyokulwanyisa. Nolwekyo era yo titujja kuvaayo, balowooza nti banaakola bineeno tuyinza okuvaayo eri, naye ebyo byonna tebijja kutuwugula. Eno tujja kukuumayo emabega ne maaso tujja kukuumayo. Okukunga abakulembeze b'ebitundu, okukolagana obulungi n'amagye, okukolagana obulungi ne poliisi, tusobole okubanga mu kiseera kino tubeera beegendereza ku muntu yenna ayinza okuba nga ajja kuleeta obulabe ku bantu baffe. Era twagala okubategeeza nti President era Commander in Chief ate alagidde okwongeramu amaanyi gasingako obungi kubanga wabaddewo emirembe.
1 out of the 8 sub-counties, 7 border DRC. And you know the nature of the ADF, they are spread all over North Kivu. So we can, in case we are attacked from one of the corners, so it will not be easy for security officers to move very fast to go and rescue the community members. So that's why we have tendered in our request so that to work on the security roads, both in the mountains, later from River Rubiriha up to Kilembe. All those hill areas are having poor road network. Then the lower part, that's...
You must be having a what? A collaborator. Even those who came to where, there must be collaborators there. So the only way we can chase away the rebel, we should fight the collaborators first. Inyoberu sinje chichangale sabasaba. Betu neriawe redi Mungu abiri asa. Sina eto shekolise katsupa.
Now into public service, the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has implored public servants to always exercise patriotism and Pan-Africanism as they render their services to Ugandans for the development and transformation of the country. Nabanja also cautioned public servants against prioritizing personal interests at the expense of national interests, which practice undermines service delivery in government institutions. The Prime Minister Nabanja was officiating at this year's Africa Public Service Day celebrations held at Kololo Independence Grounds.
So now, the same time, I will go to see the Prime Minister.
Friday, 23rd June, public servants under different ministries, departments and agencies gathered at Kololo Independence Ceremonial Grounds to mark the Africa Public Service Day. Here, different public sector players seized the opportunity to exhibit a cocktail of products and services they render as per their mandate.
Here is an NFO player who plays the
Uganda Police Force showcased some of the tactics used in ensuring law and order across the country, some of which caught the attention of the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja. The Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja, implored public servants to employ patriotism in everything they do if Uganda is to taste meaningful development and transformation.
This calls for patriotism to foster the unity and progress of your country. Besides being patriotic, you must also work for the unity of East Africa and Africa in order to guarantee the prosperity and security of Uganda even better. You must desist from prioritizing foreign or imperial or selfish or parasitic interests. These frustrate the aspirations and the goals of the people of Uganda.
Aware that for them to deliver to their mandate requires a healthy team, the Prime Minister advised public servants to always lead a disciplined lifestyle.
If you know that you are a patriot and that your family and your country depend on you, you cannot handle your life recklessly. You cannot drink alcohol. You cannot be promiscuous. You should engage in sports and exercises in order to be fit and lead a disciplined life.
The Africa Public Service Day was set aside to offer a platform for public servants and administrators to recognize the value and virtue of service.
As we celebrate, we also receive feedback from the citizenry on the public services rendered with a view to prepare and focus the public service interventions for a better future by proposing constructive and impactful changes for the well-being of the citizens.
This day is also good for us and the public to renew their commitment to improved service delivery to the public. The public expects an efficient, effective, high quality and responsive service.
This year's theme was the African Continental Free Trade Area will require a fit-for-purpose African public administration to succeed. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Thank you very much there, Dorcas Kimono. Now, government is going to put much emphasis on revitalizing the partnership forum to build robust partnership frameworks to achieve sustainable development goals that require strong partnerships. While closing the second Sustainable Development Goals Conference in Kampala, the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, assured stakeholders in the implementation of the SDGs that the solutions will be forwarded to the respective ministries immediately and action will be taken.
Financing sustainable development goals in Uganda will be hard and will require collective efforts. According to international financing experts, domestic resources alone cannot fill Uganda's SDGs financing gap. They recommend for Uganda to think about borrowing from development banks in Africa, but at lower interest rates. However, this needs to be done responsibly. The Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, said Cabinet, after the first SDG conference last year, resolved to integrate the Agenda 2063 into National SDG Development Framework for Uganda.
Is aimed at aligning the country's development priorities with those of the African Union and ensuring that national development plans are consistent with the broader continental agenda. This will enable Uganda to benefit from the regional integration and cooperation and leverage resources and expertise from the African countries.
Bank of Uganda introduced agricultural credit facility to help farmers to access finances to improve agricultural production. The Minister for General Duties and Focal Minister for SDGs, Justin Kaswele Lumumba, says people who are benefiting from this facility are few.
Somebody takes a year processing a loan under that. But what are you doing as Bank of Uganda to help these people quicken the process by letting them do what they are supposed to do?
Government ministries, departments, development partners, the private sector and civil society organizations need to collaborate and coordinate to form stronger partnerships to accelerate the implementation of SDGs.
Water needs energy. Now, agriculture too, because agriculture uses water, they require water. So there is an interplay between these various agencies. So one of the key concepts, therefore, that we are coining through this conversation that we have been having is the issue of collaboration and coordination.
The conference resolved that data and statistics play a crucial role in identifying vulnerable communities, with the Uganda Bureau of Statistics taking lead in carrying out surveys centered on household growth and performance.
The obstacles we face is largely the poor state of administrative data, because much of the data is not standardized. They are recorded using paper, and you find they are just piles of paper. They cannot be analyzed easily. All of these local governments need statistical infrastructure to be able to be capturing the data.
The judiciary has also put in place reforms to eliminate discrimination. However, lack of witnesses protection law is one of the limitations to achieving SDG 16.
Witnesses are afraid of testifying for fear of reprisal from the accused or their community members. This, in turn, hinders access to justice. It hinders fair trial and accountability for human rights violations and leads to impunity.
The conference resolved that PDM is a promising strategy, the need to strengthen capacity and education for SDGs, and creating a more enabling environment for the private sector. I'm Nafka Farida and Daniel Gemwa in Kampala.
Now, in Kabale, 3 people have been reported dead following a head-on collision involving a Simba bus and a Mercedes-Benz saloon car. The Thursday night accident was in Butare village, along the Katuna-Kavale-Mbarara highway. The Simba bus was from Kigali headed to Kampala, while the Mercedes-Benz saloon car was from Kampala heading to Kigali.
The deceased have been identified as Bishop Theogen Niyonshuti, aged 41, a renowned evangelist attached to the Pentecostal Church of Rwanda, Kamuhoza Parish of Muhima, Kigali, and the others include Donati Mteziriaho, a Rwandan national, and Deovata Moneza, a Congolese national. The Thursday night accident was in Butare village along Katuna-Kavale Mbarara Highway. Kigezi Sub-Region Police spokesperson Eli Mate, who confirmed the incident, says preliminary investigations indicate that the driver of the bus was speeding and encountered difficulties on the designated lane.
This is a saloon car which got head-on collision with a Kenyan bus along Katuna Kavale Highway. When it left, it is a rightful lane and it drove on an opposite side. We don't know what could have caused this, but as I talk, inquiries are ongoing to establish what went wrong. And three people were stuck dead in the vehicle, and only one was affected, was injured from the bus. And those people injured were, as particulars have not been known, but with time we shall give an update of everything. What details are out.
This is the second nasty incident in the area after an earlier one in December 2022, where 6 people lost their lives when a volcano bus headed for Kampala from Kigali collided with an oxygen bus from Nairobi to Kigali.
Now, the High Court Family Division will give its verdict on the burial procedures of Justice Arach Amoko this Saturday. This is after Ambassador James Idule Amoko's husband asked court to allow parties agree to bury late Justice Stella Amoko on a neutral ground at Arua Catholic Cathedral Cemetery.
The prolonged wrangle between the children, relatives and the husband to the late Supreme Court Justice Stella Arach Amoko is likely to reach an end this weekend. This followed a proposal to court from Ambassador James Idule Amoko asking the children and the relatives of the late to let the body of Justice Stella Arach Amoko to be buried at a neutral place at Arua Catholic Cathedral Cemetery. The proposal before court, presided over by Judge Ketra Katunguka, was signed by Raphael Baku for Ajumani family and Michelle Aleme for Nebi family. However, since the proposal was just presented to court and to the applicants, including children and the relatives of the deceased, court granted them more time to make a reply. Court has now set tomorrow, 24th June 2023, for the applicants to make their reply, and if at all they don't agree with the proposal from Ambassador James Idule Amoko, court will proceed to hear the main suit filed earlier before this court. Unlike yesterday, Ambassador James Idule Amoko appeared today in court. In court, the children and relatives of Justice Stella Arach Amoko were represented by lawyer Akecho Stanley and Pius Sibusobozi. Ambassador James Amoko was represented by the former President Uganda Law Society Simon Peter Chinobe, and the Attorney General's office was represented by Geoffrey Atwine, Commissioner of Civil Litigations. The parties were accompanied by relatives. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Family members of the deceased former Supreme Court Judge Justice Stella Arach Amoko have explained reasons why they do not want her to be buried in Ajumani district. According to the family members, the fallen judge is from a royal family of Alur Kingdom, and the culture does not allow her to be buried at the husband's ancestral grounds. The family also disclosed that Ambassador James Amoko, husband to the deceased with whom they have no child, has never paid dowry, which makes it hard to have her buried in Adjumani.
It is better, it's best for us to bury our daughter. One, our daughter comes from a royal family that is cultured already. That requires our daughters who are princes of this royal to be buried. Whether they are married, anywhere they are married, they should be, when they die, they should be buried at home, at their home, their father's home. Our daughter had other children with another man before she got married to this James. She had 3 children, which they together kept. They are grown-ups now. Some of them are married. 3, this man who claims to bury our daughter did not pay dowry. According to culture, we call you a son-in-law proper when you pay dowry. They don't have any child with our daughter. So that makes it also another strong reason for why our daughter cannot be buried with him. These other children want to see graves. You see the graveyard there. The children of the late will not have any access to the grave of their mother if buried in Adjumani. So we felt it was necessary. We sent some people to Kampala to make these arguments, to tell whoever is concerned in Kampala that we have a good reason for the burial here in Nebi.
We also heard that there is confusion, but we don't know why, because late Justice is our official married woman. She's our wife in this home, and this is our home. Just as I took you to the bedroom, you have seen even her portrait in the sitting room where the portrait is, because this is our home. So for us, we are united. We shall receive the body of our wife and give her a decent burial in Adjumani district.
Honorable Lady Justice Stella Arachi Amoko is a mother to us, and we are children who grow in her hand, and we are expecting her body here. This is our home, and this is where she kept giving us all sorts of humility when she's around, and we don't expect any negative force to interfere with her body staying outside for long. We are prepared, and we are ready to receive her. So should there be any other things, we are ready. This is our home. We are expecting her here.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is the future of Uganda. And as a policy maker, the policies I enact today will protect her from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. Because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *100 *10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100 *10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100 *10 hash to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda's oil and gas projects are providing opportunities for international certification and employment in various disciplines. 12,000 Ugandans have received global oil industry training and international certification in welding, heavy goods vehicle driving, and scaffolding, among others. 6 public and private institutions have received international accreditation and certification from industry bodies such as City and Guilds, ECITB, OPITO, AWS, and NEBOSH. 250 government officers from various ministries and agencies have trained in oil and gas-related disciplines such as petroleum engineering, geosciences, law, and economics. 71,300 Ugandans are currently employed in the sector. The National Oil and Gas Talent Register provides visibility to Ugandans with skills and competencies for possible employment in the oil and gas sector. Registration is free. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Welcome back from that short break. As News Tonight continues, the International War Crimes Division Court has indicated to give its ruling whether to confirm over 30 charges laid to the 8 suspects in the attempted murder of General Edward Katumba Wamala, murder of her daughter Brenda Nantongo and his driver Haruna Kayondo. The case is before Lady Justice Alice Komuhanje, as we hear more in this report.
The accused in the attempted murder of General Edward Katumba Wamala, murder of his daughter Brenda Nantongo and his driver Haruna Kayondo have appeared before the International War Crimes Division Court in Kororo to proceed with a pre-trial hearing. Lady Justice Alice Komuhanje Kawoka read out the charges to the accused that include terrorism, murder, attempted murder, aggravated robbery, rendering support to the terrorist groups, financing terrorism, and belonging to Allied Democratic Forces group.
All in Uganda with intent to influence the government or intimidate the public or a section of the public, and for political, religious, social, or economic aims, you indiscriminately, without due regard to the safety of others or property, you directly involved yourselves or were complicit in the murder of number 560 SPC Mubiru Hussein, number 169 SPC Kalunji Moses.
Prosecution alleges that the said offences were committed by the accused in Kampala, Wakiso, Luweero, Kasesa and Mbale between March 2015 and in June 2021. The accused are also charged with the offence of murdering ASP Abaho Frank, Mubiru Hussein, Mawanya Ronald, Kalunji Moses, among others.
The 8 of you and others who are still at large on the 29th of May 2019 at Chief General Hardware Nansana East 1 Zone in Wakiso District with malice aforethought you unlawfully caused the death of Bugembe Amin.
The suspects are also accused of aggravated robbery that occurred at Cheap Hardware in Nansana and at De Novo Bakery in Kawempe. At De Novo Bakery Kalere, Kawempe Division in Kampala District, you stole Uganda shillings 34,732,000
900 shillings from Naka to Denawal, and at immediately before or immediately after the time of the said theft, you use the deadly weapon, to wit, a gun, on the said Naka to Denawal.
The accused, after reading the charges against them, they were remanded to Luzira Government Prison until further notice. Now the accused are waiting to appear before a panel of 3 judges of the International Crimes Division Court for trial of this matter. Meanwhile, Magistrate Asimu Esses has remanded Mungereza Edward to Luzira Government Prison on charges of corruption which he pleaded not guilty to. Prosecution alleges that on 28th July 2022, at Mbarara Police Station, Mungereza Edward directly offered 5 million to Mayombo Daniel, an officer from the State House Anti-Corruption Unity, in exchange to release to Mwine Evarist, who had been detained at Mbarara Police Station on charges of forgery. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabogode, UBC News.
Now, thank you very much there, Deborah and Susan. Now, the district security officers at all levels have been urged to desist from all forms of corruption to avoid suppressing government projects and service delivery. The call has been made by the Minister for Security, retired Major General Jim Muhwezi, during a meeting with the internal security officers from Tororo sub-region in Fort Portal.
The Security Minister, retired Major General Jim Muhwezi, has continued to engage security heads at sub-county levels across the country. On Friday, 23rd June 2023, the Minister has convened GISOs from the district of Toro sub-region in Fort Portal City. Just like it has been in the previous meetings, Jim Muhwezi is in company of the Director General Internal Security Organization, Colonel Charles Oluka.
In October 1986, the Security Organizations Act, creating ISO and ESO. So you are operating legally under the law. So don't fear, you are not like those people like the State Research Bureau of Idi Amin.
Oluka, however, acknowledges that though with some pockets of insecurity in the country, Uganda largely remains peaceful.
Our country is largely peaceful. It's just a few exceptions that keep on disorganizing us.
According to security heads, the porous borders between Uganda and DRC now still stands as the major security threat to Uganda.
We are all aware that in the eastern DRC, we have all sorts of rogue elements there. There are people who are anti-Uganda government there. There are anti-Congo elements there. There are anti-Rwanda elements there. And there are those who are even anti themselves because they fight amongst themselves. And some of those skirmishes spill over into our country, let alone the deliberate ones by the ADF who want to come back home to disturb us.
The complacency among GISOs is becoming a major concern as one leading the country into DOM.
In security officer, including yourselves, you must know what you are fighting for, what you are protecting. You are protecting NRM, yes. You are protecting President Museveni, yes. But what do they stand for? It's the main reason. What does President Museveni and NRM stand for? They stand for patriotism, they stand for Pan-Africanism, they stand for socio-economic transformation, they stand for democracy. These are the things you are protecting.
GISOs are also being reminded that their job is as nothing else, but rather to detect and prevent crime and situations.
Intelligence failures for all intelligence officers on earth are very, very painful. It happened with Americans and they suffered 9/11. It happened with us in East Africa when they bombed the embassies. It has happened in Uganda several times, you know it, and recently you know what happened at the border in Pondwe. All those are attributed to intelligence failures.
Because the president has told us that sometimes the kind of reports he gets are saying, it seems, it appears. Intelligence cannot report like that. No. You say, this is like this. You talk with confidence because you've got the right information.
All in all, it is being pointed out that corruption should have no room in the intelligence sector, as for it will drown the country.
Corruption should not be in intelligence, because when corruption comes into intelligence, that's the end of the country. In my language, there is a saying that what is going to kill a dog attacks the nose, because a dog lives by sniffing. Once the nose is dead, the dog is dead. So since you are the eyes and the ears and the nose of the state, when you are attacked by this vice called corruption, then the country is finished. There should never be corruption in intelligence.
Such engagements will go on across the country with the aim of sharpening intelligence in the country. Roberto Nyango, UBC News.
Now, campaigns in Oyam North constituency parliamentary by-elections have entered day 2 with campaigns with a low turn.
On bike is the NRM candidate Ngola Jr. arriving for the campaigns at Alere Parish in Ngai Sub-County, ridden by the Party Secretariat Director of Communications, Emmanuel Dombo.
In mobilization, we use so many tactics. You can use the bicycle where possible. You can use a motorcycle for being able to maneuver in many places. Where you can use the car, you can also use it. But for us, we use and adjust appropriately depending on the circumstances, the nature of roads.
NRM candidate later addressed 3 other rallies in the parishes of Amaita and Omats. He urged the people of Oyam North to vote for him to keep his father's legacy through development.
As they are in groups, we should be able to reach them, because it is difficult to reach individuals. And that's why the government has adopted the group orientation of decentralizing resources. So that's what we have agreed with them, and we have told them that each group they will formulate in Oyam North should be called Mashudwogo. Then they can give another name, so that our father's legacy is not lost.
Speaking in an interview, party officials revealed that the rallies have kicked off with minimal challenges.
The challenges so far have been the rain. This is a rainy season, and so it makes our rallies at times to begin a bit late. But the population is very supportive. The population is very sympathetic to the family, and the population loves NRM. We want to encourage them.
Director of Mobilization at NRM, Rosemary Seninde, is convinced that the NRM candidate will emerge victorious.
Now in our second venue, we are going to now to do 4 sub-parishes today. And in the first parishes and in the parish where we are, we have actually been warm, we have been welcomed very well. Our candidate is received very well, and this is a motivation. I'm glad the people appreciate and understand why it must be Junior Ngola Okello to take up his father's legacy.
Meanwhile, the National Unity Platform candidate Okello Daniel campaigned in Abok. Uganda People's Congress candidate Opio Eunice campaigned in Achaba Sub-County, and the FDC candidate Okello Freddy Newton was in Aleka Sub-County. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Oyam.
Now, as Uganda joins the rest of the world to celebrate the International Refugees Day, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, has appealed to the Ugandan government to facilitate a process in which refugees can be easily adopted in host communities.
Refugees flee their homes. They are often faced with several challenges on their way to host countries and communities. It is from this backdrop that the Office of the Prime Minister, together with the UN High Commission for Refugees and the Norwegian Refugee Council, gathered urban refugees in Kampala to discuss ways on how to address some of the challenges they face in the host communities. The Norwegian Refugee Council Country Director Laura Marshall called for strengthening of legal framework for refugees in the country.
But having a policy is not the same as having a practice. And so really what we're asking is for, first of all, refugees from urban areas outside Kampala to be included within the legal framework for refugees here. And the other thing that we're asking refugees to seek advice from agencies like NRC about how to make sure that they're registered appropriately.
According to the UNHCR resident representative Matthew Crenstill, urban refugees population has hit 141,000, hence the need to link up urban refugees to prospective employers.
That we continue to abide by the rules and regulations of the country. You know, in your own countries, there are so many factors, so many reasons that provoke your flight from your own countries to Uganda. So, in recognition of the gesture of the Ugandan government, I think the only payback we can make is to respect the rules and regulations of the country.
The Assistant Commissioner of Refugees at the Office of the Prime Minister, Charles Bafachi, urged the urban refugees to desist from dealing with middlemen who promise them heaven and earth.
The most important durable solution is voluntary return to their home countries. You have 1.56 million refugees in Uganda. That's a big number. You cannot think of returning them, or rather sending them to other countries, which we call a resettlement. You cannot also imagine that they cannot be absorbed here. We hope that countries of origin, especially South Sudan and Congo, who have given us the biggest number of refugees, stabilize so that they can go home.
Now, Bumu Disability Development Association, a group of differently abled artisans specializing in crafting ornaments from cow horns, is now among the glimmer of hope and about to witness a significant transformation in their production capabilities, thanks to the generous support of MTN Uganda as part of the 21 Day of Yellow Care initiative.
The Luwero-based Bumu Disability Development Association has been creating beautiful ornaments from cow horns, not only as a means of artistic expression, but also a sustainable livelihood opportunity. However, the lack of adequate machinery to streamline their production process has been a persistent challenge for the association, hindering their growth and limiting their output.
Waliwo awakolebwa ebikopo tubadde tetusobola bikola olw'abo mashini obutonotono tubadde tulina nga tusobola bukola naye kati saawa zino ezo mashini ze tugenda okufuna tusobola okukola ebikopo tusobola okukola amasowaani bye tubadde tusobola kukola kigenda twanguyira okubikola.
Recognizing the potential and determination of these artisans, MTN Uganda has stepped forward to contribute to their success.
So we are giving back to the community here in terms of basically internet, to support their computer laboratories, to support learnings, to support growth, to support health. The internet we are going to give them will be for 1 full year, free of charge for them. So they will need to use it for any of the activities they run at this center.
The chairperson and founder of the Bumu Disability Development Association expressed heartfelt gratitude to MTN for their invaluable support.
Natuwa computer ngeri ku internet mwaka mulamba kigenda tuyamba nti tubadde tukaluubirirwa nnyo okuteeka ebintu byaffe ku mutimbagano kati guno mulembe gwa mutimbagano naye kati tugenda biteeka ku mutimbagano abantu babyololere basobole tuwagira ate naffe tusobole okubeera obulungi.
As the equipment finds its place within the workshop of the Bomo Disability Development Association, the differently abled artisans can look forward to a more efficient and fulfilling journey.
Donating some equipment such as electrical sewing machines, machines for shoemaking, and we are also going to provide internet and the associated equipment worth 20 million shillings for 1 year. We are hoping that with this boost, the business will grow and will lead to a better life for all the people who are associated to it. Whenever MTN comes to a community such as this in Bombo, we also look around for other needs.
Mary Namkose, Saddam Mubale, UBC News.
Uganda waraji batusako manra mechikona tena tekobo seko season yakona savu July kuma Mount Papa's Hall osasule kwa MTN mobile money osasula gumu chitundu MTN osasule nega nkome tano iga stemu kagatano stamu enda munana hasha kwa MTN ofune tiketi yokati wabula kumulyango osasule mitwale ebiri yepe mitwale tano ate meza ya milioni 2 munana July koni hotel mkono mwenda July Nikan Resort Elweza 15 July France Africa Jinja 22 July Maria Flema Saka 22 July Afro Club Sangati ate yoyo noku yingira mutwalo wafujinidwa mu sente Talent Africa Victoria University Suzu Property Consultants Pepsi Max Uganda Waraji ne
MTN.
Juko.
Yo.
Wachikuwa. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *100 *10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100 *10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100 *10 hash to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome to the business desk as we start off with professional engineers. Minister of Works and Transport General Katumba Wamala urges the people of Uganda to adopt professional architects so that they can have safe buildings. General Katumba said this during the Kampala City Building Control Baraza under the theme, ensuring a well-planned, decent and safe-built Kampala city.
The City Council works with the National Building Review Board to certify engineers who are commissioned to construct any building to meet the city's standards. The Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, wants an amendment to the National Building Act that will speak to the regulation of buildings.
That person should be liable for the debt and whatever the current law process. We are going to the cabinet We have already taken the disposal. Then we are going to send it down to the next drafting the parliamentary council. Then we shall go to parliament.
He said that in Kampala, they conducted a survey and found that out of 5,000 buildings in the city, only 1,500 meet the standards.
On your computer, you're studying them, but practically, you need to investigate them. And for example, most of the technology which has been introduced, including bars and steel bars. But you have manuals.
National Building Review Board spokesperson Herbert Ziwa said they have started educating people on the steps followed for the construction of any building in Kampala.
Having challenges of collapsing buildings that have led to loss of lives and property. You all know a building that collapsed, I think, a month ago in Kansanga that claimed one life and also led to injuries among many people. So, to find solutions to the problems we are facing in the sector, we are looking for avenues of how to engage the public on building compliance matters. We want to educate them on where they can find professionals. If they want building permits, where can they get them? We want to educate them on the roles of building committees. Under the Building Control Act, each city, municipality, local government, and town council must have building committees. So what do they do? That's why we are here, to educate the public on the roles of the building committees.
In the whole country, only 300 architects are certified by the agencies, which weakens the construction in clear procedures. Crispus, Arenaitwe, Jamil, Sekaja, UBC.
Well, allow me to take you through the financial markets as we preview the updates on the money markets and the Uganda Securities Exchange. In our financial markets this week, let us start off with the forex market, where the shilling opened with an appreciation against the dollar by 22.33 shillings to trade at 3,677.92 buying and 3,687.92 selling, and then closed with another increase by 20.92 shillings against the greenback. The shilling also stood its ground against the pound, the euro, and the East African currencies and continued with an appreciative trend up to close of business, as we can see in this preview. Now on to the Uganda Securities Exchange. Activity was witnessed on three counters: Bobu trading at 15 shillings per share, MTN 165 shillings per share, and Wumeme at 440 shillings per share, to accumulate a total number of 560,000 shares exchanging hands. The three counters generated a total turnover of 91.8 million shillings, with MTN taking the lead and narrate the biggest turnover of 90.6 million shillings at only 165 shillings per share. 30 deals were exchanged on the counter. There were some price movements on all three counters. Wumeme traded 2,000 shares, the least shares traded compared to MTN and Bank of Baroda, who traded 24,000 shares and 533,000 shares respectively. The all-share index stands at 1,006.67 and the local share index stands at 266.96. For UBC News, I'm Patricia Komampango. Now into the world of sports. A week-long Federation of International Volleyball is on a coaching process, and it looks like it has climaxed. It was tutored by a volleyball instructor, Matthias Kalny, and had 41 participants from across the region.
After a marathon-like 5 days during which participants attended more than 50 hours of practical and theory lessons, the Federation of International Volleyball Federation Level 1 coaching course has climaxed in Kampala.
Very hard-working group, very nice persons, so I think we are enjoying our 5 days. I hope of course that we will have as many as we can from our participants who will pass the practical tests and theoretical tests as well, and finally we will see.
The course was a brainchild of Uganda Volleyball Federation to improve its technical arm that it's convinced has benefited immensely.
The course is coming to an end, and we have 41 participants who have taken part in this course. They're doing the final exams now, and we hope for the best for them. But how it looks right now is that we have a very good rate of success.
The workshop attracted 41 participants, including several from the region, with names like Emmanuel Kato, Isaac Muhumuza, Tadeo Winyi, Rwandiza Fred Musoni, and Kenyan Eliza Wagisi Karugu among the excellent.
Jize mubinji okucoachinga abaana abato okutandikira ku myaka 8 paka waggulu, so nsuubira nti skills zange oba obukodyo bwange bw'okucoachinga mbongeddemu amaanyi era ngenda kuba coach mulungi mu biseera by'omu maaso.
Something that is going to make us even better, even when we come down to our levels, our club level on coaching, we shall look better because it is one way of polishing our ideas that we had.
Today is our final day and we are doing examination. We are starting with our practical lessons. For now, we have started the examination. I think from Monday, from the first day we came here, we were received very well.
I've been here for 5 days. The coaches are very nice, the game is okay, the training is okay, and we appreciate because the Tony, as the director, received as well, and also the instructor is very social and friendly to us, and we appreciate for his work.
So excited that we have reached the final day of our course. It has been really a good journey so far. We have learned a lot of things from the instructor, and we are hoping we are carrying it back home to help our teams and the young players.
What follows for the successful coaches is put into practice, while the Volleyball Federation targets its referees for a Federation of International Volleyball Federation training course in Tunisia next month.
We are going to implement it that every club in Serie A has a level 1, FIVB level 1 coach who is qualified.
John Barnes, Sentamo, YBC News.
And that brings us to the end of our bulletin. Thank you so much for giving us your time. My name is Patricia Lokoma Mpango, and of course on sign language there is Mogalo Mohammed. As we sign out, let's go to Sharon Nakajiri for the weather forecast.
Welcome to yet another weather edition brought to you by Uganda National Meteorological Authority. I'm Sharon Nakajiri tonight. Now taking a good look at the satellite taken over Africa today, it clearly shows that the rain-bearing clouds are over our country, Uganda. That's why tomorrow morning we are forecasting thunder showers in Kampala and in Masaka. As for Nakasongola, we shall have sunny intervals. For western stretch, that includes Kasese and Kabale, we are forecasting sunny intervals. For eastern parts of the country, we shall have thunder showers in Jinja and in Tororo. As for Soroti, we shall have light rains. Light rains are forecasted in Gulu and in Lira. As for Kotido, we shall have sunny intervals. Later on in the day, we shall have a pickup of thunder showers over most parts of the country, temperatures rising up to 27 degrees Celsius in Nakasongola and in our capital city, Kampala. As for the eastern parts of the country, we are forecasting 29 degrees Celsius. For the western parts of the country, we are forecasting a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius in Kasese. As for Kabale, we shall have a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. For the northern parts of the country, we shall have a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius in Kotido. As for Gulu and Lira, we are forecasting 28 degrees Celsius. For international weather forecast, we shall have a maximum of 39 degrees Celsius in Dubai with bright and sunny conditions, while for Nairobi, we are forecasting sunny intervals at 25 degrees Celsius. That concludes our weather forecast today. For more information, check our website as it is displayed on your screen. Have a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Ojo, mwami musoke. Njose ne kusanga.
Ate chichi.
Munange, anti gwamanya kunyinyonyola ebintu by'emisolo bino n'embitegeera.
Ate chichi leero.
Mbadde ku dduuka ne mpulira nga abakyala bagamba tulina okwewandiisa mu nkola ya
IFRIS. Tokikolanga.
Ate mbadde
kituufu nnyo.
Mbadde sikimanyi nakyo.
Eyo y'enkola egenda okutuyamba okulwaninga bizinesi zaffe mu ngeri ya digital.
Etya.
Oba olina okuwandiisa bizinesi yo mu IFRIS osobola okumanya omuwendo gw'ebintu by'olina mu bizinesi yo, enfulumya n'ennyingiza mu bizinesi yo. Awo URA esobola okukola omulimu gwayo ogw'emisolo obulungi.
Nedda mwami musoke kye sitegeera. IFRIS eyingira etya mu bizinesi yange?
Kakati enkola eno ya IFRIS eyingiza bizinesi yo mu sisitemu ya URA kubanga tekyali kya buntu bulamu okugerekera omusolo ogutali mutuufu abateebereza buteebereza.
Ekyo kituufu ddala bannange, ekyo kituufu kubanga mazima obadde omusolo gubadde gwapaala bupaazi ng'ogenda n'osasula omusolo gw'otomanyiko omutwe n'amagulu kwegamba bambi nga tekiriiyo.
Olaba kakati ate n'ekirala IFRIS eyamba okukuuma ebiwandiiko bya bizinesi yo kuba biyinza okubulako, biyinza okukwata omuliro, naye kati wano IFRIS biba biri digitalized.
Bannange nenkola ntya okwewandiisa?
Kyaku nnyo waludde dda. Okwewandiisa mu nkola ya IFRIS genda ku kibanja kya URA www.ura.go.ug awo olondeko e-invoicing awo no ugoberere endagiriro. URA tukulaakulanyize wamu Uganda. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Show 'em how it's done, homeboy.
Yes, I am. They come and Richard Talents representing the best DJ. DJ Santos 256. Kabaka one party.
Never imagined I'd be sitting here beside myself. 'Cause I didn't know you, 'cause I didn't know me, but I thought I knew